giving away the country hats, the trucker hats with a country theme. And everybody's into the spirit. They had a lot going on before the game. When you think about this ballpark, it can really become a festive atmosphere. Chad Brownlee sang both national anthems prior to the game today. The Blue Jays trying to avoid the sweep at the hands of the Seattle Mariners. The Mariners have won the first 2 games, both one-run affairs. Right at the top of the order is Brad Miller. Miller is playing at second base today, first time this year. His last 10 games have been very productive. 12 hits, 7 extra base hits in that 12-game stretch. Kyle Seager's got a 9-game hit streak. Hit a home run yesterday against Mark Burley in the second inning. Seager's one of the best young players in all of baseball. He's a reigning Gold Glover at third base.
And the pitcher in charge of stopping that losing streak is young Aaron Sanchez. Very impressive lately. Takes that 3-4 record for his 9th start and first start versus the Mariners in his career. He got into the 8th inning in his last start versus Los Angeles. He got better and better as the game went on. He's now limited opposition to 3 runs or less in 7 of his 8 starts.
First pitch is up for a ball. Sanchez very anxious to develop some consistency. Takes a little off and throws a strike 1-1 to Brad Miller. Miller batting .258 for the season. Mentioned Miller's playing second base for the first time this season.
Came up as an infielder. They're trying to make a super utility type of player out of Brad Miller. We saw him in center field earlier in this series. He is coming off a great month of April when he was named the player of the week.
Sanchez now with a 2-2 count to the leadoff man. Curveball. Did he check the appeal to third? The crew chief, Jerry Davis, said no swing. That'll be a full count. Seth Smith is on deck. He's in left field this afternoon, and Smith, a left-handed bat. A leadoff walk. That's the one thing Sanchez was trying to avoid. Defensively, let's take a look at the Blue Jays, the way they set up here this afternoon. Chris Colabello is in left field. This is his 7th start in left field. Pilar's in center, and Ezequiel Carrera is in right. Donaldson and Goins on the left side. Kawasaki starting for the second time at second base. Smoke starts against his former team at first, and Russell Martin's behind the plate.
It's been a long time since we've seen Justice Smoke. Last started 8 days ago. That was down in Houston. Just his 4th start at first base this month.
Sanchez throws a first pitch strike to Seth Smith. Smith hitting .250 for the season, but he has been terrific batting during the daytime. He's hitting over .500 during day games. Hot shot, base hit by Kawasaki into right. Carrera comes up and stops Miller at second. So the first 2 reach here in the first inning.
You mentioned him in the day games, over 500. That leads the major league. Seth Smith didn't waste any time. He's had 5 doubles, 2 triples, and a home run in those 7-day games. That's a 2-seam sinking fastball, trying to get the ground ball, but it catches too much of the plate. Hey, watch how sharply this ball is hit into the gap. Miller is thinking about going to third, but Carrera did a good job of getting on top of that ball quickly and holding him at second base.
You saw Brad Miller take a peek at the third base coach and got the stop sign quickly. Robinson Cano is the DH today. Cano has played all but 4 innings at second base in the field this season for Seattle. Cano's struggling by his standards. He's a guy you always think to be up around 300, and he has just 1 home run, 11 RBIs.
Says, I'm just going to come to the ballpark every single day. I'm going to do my thing. He's done it for a long time in his career. There's no doubt by the end of the season his numbers are going to be up there. Over his last 5 seasons, look at the on-base plus the slugging. It's up there in the 8s and 900s. This year in the 600s. Timing for Cano, it looks just a little bit off.
Sanchez falls behind 2-0. We mentioned these 2 starters, Sanchez and Walker, both 22 years old. Bouncing ball foul. with young starters, you're going to have some inconsistent outings. They really thrill you with their stuff, but the inconsistency is a problem, and you just have to be patient and allow them to get their feet on the ground.
They'll wow you sometimes, won't they? You just go, man, that's what we've been looking for from these guys. And at other times, they'll be a little bit inconsistent. Again, this is just his 9th start in the big leagues.
Ground ball. Kawasaki to Goins. Tough throw. Nice handle by Goins. Boy, Ryan Goins has been terrific at shortstop. Kawasaki gave him a tough feed, but he stayed with it. He never panicked, and he trusted his arm strength to complete the double play.
You know what you have to have? You have to have quick feet and quick hands. This throw takes him into the runner, way off base. You'd like to have that throw to the glove side, to the outside of the bag. He throws it down in the dirt, and Ryan picks it. He's able to stay on the base and complete the double play. Nice play.
Sanchez gets the double play. Now there are 2 down. Boy, that's a tough pitch right there. 97 at the knees. Boy, it's amazing how one play can turn around your start. That double play may be just what Sanchez needed. Ground ball up the middle. Goins behind second. What a play. Safe. He's off the bag. Smoke says, let's appeal it. The first base umpire, Will Little, said he was off the bag. Smoke stretched, and he immediately signaled to the Blue Jays dugout, check that replay. He felt like he had a foot on the bag when he caught the ball.
Yeah, it was quick right at the end. Watch him stretch. And you can see that the foot eventually comes off of the base, but when the ball is in the glove, does he still have contact with the base? And, you know, from that angle right there, it looked like the toe might have still been on.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough one because you have to have conclusive evidence to overturn the call on the field. And you could definitely see there was a gap when Smoke got his balance. But is he in contact with it right there? Indeed he is. And that should be enough evidence right there to overturn the call at first base. Will Little is the first base umpire. So Goins ranging well behind the bag at second. And the crowd reacting to the big screen video replay of that last play.
This is a little bit far, but let's see when the ball is in the glove.
Well, that was a split second, wasn't it? Watch contact right there with the ball in the glove, and the foot is on the bag now.
Right
Boom.
there. Yeah. It looked like it just touched the glove right there, and the foot looks like it's still engaged. It's got to be conclusive. They've got to be able to see that.
But the ruling on the field is an infield hit and an RBI with the run scoring from third.
This is a big, big play for the Blue Jays because it could cost them a run or save them a run.
Well, the one thing we have seen about these challenges and video reviews is the umpires, they have been proven to be correct a lot, but in the final analysis, they've gotten the call right, whether it's on the field or in New York in the video room. That's the essence of why you implement video replay.
Yeah, and that's exactly why you've put it in there. Get the play right. When does that glove move? You can see he's closing his glove right there. From that angle, it looks like the toe is still on the bag. It obviously comes off the bag. His momentum took him off of the bag. But when it was in the leather, when it was in the glove, was he still engaged?
Well, another thing that really is pointed out to you is how about Nelson Cruz? Every time he hits the ball, he runs 100% to first. He makes it bang, bang. The umpires now have their decision. Jerry Davis calls out. The Blue Jays get a run back. They take one off the board. Cruz loses an RBI. Sanchez has a run come off the board. his coaches. He turned the double play on a tough feed, and then he went behind the bag at second to save a run for Aaron Sanchez. Take a look at the Blue Jays lineup now. Josh Donaldson right at the top of the order, and he is flourished here at Rogers Center. A .364 average at home with 6 homers and 16 RBIs. And how about Chris Colabello? During his homestand, he is 6 for 20 with a pair of home runs. Colabello has been a terrific addition to this lineup. With his bat today, he starts in left field.
In tough again this afternoon against a Mariner pitcher. Taijuan Walker was the Mariners' supplemental first-round draft pick, 43rd overall in 2010. He struggled through the early portions of his first full major league season. He's got a very high earned run average at 747, 1-4 record. But that does not indicate the kind of stuff that he can bring to the mound.
Donaldson goes after the first pitch, and it's popped up. Walker, the pitcher, gives way to Seager, and Seager makes the catch behind the mound, 1 down. Defensively, the Mariners have committed 27 errors this season. Seth Smith, Dustin Ackley, and Nelson Cruz from left to right in the outfield. The Gold Glover at third is Kyle Seager. Taylor and Miller up the middle. Logan Morrison made a good play here on Friday night at first base. And how about Taijuan Walker and Wellington Castillo? That's your battery this afternoon.
Third game, third different center fielder for the Mariners starting in this game. Dustin Ackley would play out there. He's played all 3 outfield spots for the Mariners this year. Came up as a second baseman. He gets to start this afternoon in center field.
Looks like the Blue Jays are intent on jumping on that first pitch from Taijuan Walker.
Yeah, he'll give you a fastball. He's got a good one. He needs to throw more fastballs. He gets in trouble, Taijuan Walker, when he tries to outthink the hitters. He needs to be very aggressive with that fastball.
Look at Martin's reaction to that number 2 pitch, and you can see why. Maybe 6 inches off the plate inside. Tony Randazzo is the home plate umpire.
Well, there's a way to let him know, and that's the way to do it right there.
And Russell said that's about the same way. But what you have to do as a batter or a catcher, for that matter, just be diplomatic in the way you express your concerns about the strike zone.
Well, he did the right thing. He put his head down. He walked out of the batter's box the whole time, letting the umpire know what he thought. Now, if he turned around and he looked and got in his face and told him, that's not the way you do it.
Wellington Castillo, the catcher, really took a shot on his right wrist. Watch the ball bounce up and catch him on that forearm. Right on his wrist. And he felt the impact of that. This is another pop-up. Left side of the infield. Seager gives way to the shortstop, Taylor. 2 pop-up outs.
Let's take a look at the scouting report for young Taijuan Walker. Again, just 22 years old for Walker. He throws hard. Got the fastball 94 miles an hour. They want him to get that up to about the 75-80% range right there. Use the fastball a little bit more. Change is like a splitter. He splits his finger just a little bit. He's got a cutter and a curveball.
If these young pitchers could hit, they would recognize how tough it is to hit a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. 0-2.
That was some heat right there at 96.
Walker, like so many pitchers these days, throwing out of an abbreviated windup. A little broken bat, soft liner to the mound. Took Taijuan Walker just 9 pitches to retire the side in order. 2010 draft. It was a pitching-rich draft, to be sure, when you look back at some of the notable pitchers taken in 2010.
How about Matt Harvey, 7th overall to the New York Mets, and his great stuff. Chris Sale went 13th overall to the Chicago White Sox. There's Aaron Sanchez, 34th overall, supplemental. And then Taijuan Walker, again, he was in that draft also, 43rd, just 9 slots past Sanchez. He was chosen by the Seattle Mariners, just 22 years old. There's been other guys, too, who've been in that draft who are making their name for themselves.
Well, Drew Pomeranz is another pitcher that was in that draft. How about the number 1 pick overall in 10? That was Bryce Harper, and we'll see him next week in Washington with the Nationals.
Noah Syndergaard had to be in that draft, didn't he? Wasn't he in
Noah
the same
Syndergaard
draft?
was in the 38th pick. Yeah, there were a lot of good pitchers. Asher Wojciechowski, he was picked just ahead of Taijuan Walker, 2 spots. This is Kyle Seager. Kyle Seager, of course, has blossomed into a star with the Seattle Mariners. He won the Gold Glove last year. He's on a 9-game hit streak. There's a curveball in there for a strike. That has been money for Sanchez over his last several starts.
It's a power curveball, and he's getting more confident with it. He is throwing it frequently. He's finishing off a lot of at-bats with it, too.
Curveball high and deep to right. Carrera looking up. Seager has gone deep for a second straight day. He sat back and looked for that curveball and hammered it to right field, his 7th home run.
Wow, he is in a nice little streak right now. Is Kyle Seager. It's a very simple approach at the plate. He uses his hands, not a lot of movement. He is starting to hit. Watch it. Curveball for strike 2. Okay, that's the one I saw. Now this one just rolls right over the middle of the plate. And a good hitter and a hot hitter is going to hit that one every single time.
That extends his hit streak to 10 straight. 1-0 Seattle. This is Logan Morrison, the first baseman. Morrison 0 for 3 yesterday. Sanchez overthrew that pitch, got it down and in for ball 2. Not many of these Mariner hitters have faced Sanchez before. In the lineup, just Cruz and Ackley have faced Aaron in the past.
Before today, his only appearance was a relief appearance last year in that 1-0 game that Taijuan Walker pitched against the Blue Jays. Mark Burley beat him 1-0. Sanchez got the save.
Walker was good. He allowed just 4 hits. Burley allowed 1 better, just 3, as he pitched 8 innings of 3-hit shutout ball, and Sanchez pitched the 9th. 2-2 to Logan Morrison. Curveball. That one goes to left field, and Colabello makes the catch. 1 down.
The championship-winning Honda CRF 450R for those who dare to ride red.
Beautiful Sunday afternoon in Toronto. Roof is wide open. Good crowd on hand for Country Day here at Rogers Center. This is the catcher, Wellington Castillo. Castillo is playing in his 3rd game since the trade. He was acquired in a trade with the Chicago Cubs on the 19th of May. He spent 11 years with the Cubs organization.
He was the Cubs starting catcher in 2013 and 2014.
Cubs revamped their catching duo. They brought in Miguel Montero and David Ross,
making Castillo expendable. So they picked up another bullpen piece from the Mariners.
Yoendris Medina went to AAA for the time being. He's going to work there for a while, and they anticipate he will be with the Cubs. Two-2 pitch. Fastball jammed right to smoke. 2 down.
Aaron Sanchez has been better over his last couple of starts, and you and I got a chance to talk to him after that last outing against the Los Angeles Angels. He said, you know what? Tired of walking guys. I'm going to just attack that strike zone and use my fastball. And he's been much better.
Well, and too, I think you're seeing Sanchez understand his delivery a little bit more. He doesn't have to muscle the fastball to get the velocity. He handcuffed Russell Martin with that 96-mile-an-hour sinker.
He's got fantastic movement on all of his pitches, especially his fastball. Said, you know what, I don't need to try to hit the corners. I need to just throw the ball down the middle and, quote, let it eat. Let it move and eat up those hitters.
Well, and Russell does such a good job of encouraging all of his pitchers, but they have kind of eliminated that cutter. It hasn't been real good for him, and he says, yeah, eventually it might be a very important pitch, but right now I want him to concentrate on 3 pitches, and there's another curveball, and this pitch is lined down the left side. That's going to be a foul ball, just barely foul down in the corner. The Mariners are really swinging well at that curveball, and I think that's something for Russell Martin to make note of. Seager hit a curveball for a home run. Morrison lined a curveball to left field, and Ackley was on that curveball. When you throw 97, you shouldn't have good swings at that curveball like that.
Yeah, so maybe there's something that he is doing that might be tipping his pitches. He might be fanning his glove just a little bit on his curveball. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. And that was the talk that early in the season that maybe he was tipping his pitches on his curveball, that he might have been fanning his glove while he was holding it at his belt as he got the grip for that breaking ball. It's too good of a breaking ball for guys to sit back like that.
Change up, and he goes after it, and look at Martin nodding that was a good pitch, and pitchers need that kind of feedback. You know, they're involved in their delivery. They're falling off the mound. They don't necessarily see the results of their efforts. So when Sanchez throws a good pitch, Martin will acknowledge and nod to him. Yeah, that's what I want. Smoke goes to the bag and beats Ackley for the final out of the inning. Kyle Seager, he has homered in consecutive games. This home run leading off the second gives the Mariners a 1-0 lead. Number 7 for Seager. Series anxious to make it 3 in a row.
The other night, change up, that was up. That made it 4-3 in the ballgame. 2-run home run. That was not coming back to left field. And then off of James Paxton. Paxton threw him a fastball down, and Chris Colabello hits it over the bullpen in left field. Power stroke coming around for Colabello. Well, there's no question that he can hit.
Colabella goes after that first pitch. Another first pitch swing. And Brooke Jacoby, he puts together the game plan for the hitters, and he'll explain what the strengths are of Taijuan Walker, what his pitches are, and then he'll say, you know, he's got a tendency to use that fastball on the first pitch.
Especially to right-handers, a little bit more to the righties. He will use that fastball, especially early. I think he's trying to establish it. And the Blue Jays have picked up on that.
There's Brooke Jacoby, and he's in his first season as the hitting coach. He and Eric Owens, his assistant, put in a lot of time of breaking down video, looking at pitchers, seeing if there's anything they can pick up on that might give a hitter an advantage. Who was the best guy you ever had as a hitting coach?
You know, I worked with some great ones, and I'm real happy to say I did. But one of the smartest ones, and I guess the place where I had the most success, Cleveland, Bobby Bonds was our hitting coach there. Smart. He could pick up things on a pitcher that he'd be doing things that he would give away. You know, he's tipping his pitches by his gloves moving a certain way, and sit on the fastball. He just did so many great things as a hitter. It's no question that I think he had an influence in Barry's hitting career.
No doubt about it. Barry always talked about his dad and how he impacted his career. Justin Smoke gets a start at first base. He'll bat next after Colabella.
Bobby played with one of the smartest players who ever played this game, Willie Mays, and learned a lot of tricks.
There's a leadoff walk. Colabella is aboard for Smoke. Boy, again, pitching coaches, and the Mariners pitching coach is Rick Waits, and you got a young pitcher on the mound. You just take the lead, and he comes out and walks the first batter.
Again, that's the inconsistencies that you're going to get with young players. Again, just 22 years old is Taijuan Walker. He was trying to establish inside with that fastball, and he kept missing.
This is Justin Smoke. He goes after the first pitch as well and bloops it into center. Ackley gets there. One down. Well, we mentioned this is just the second start of his career against the Blue Jays. And the last one came September last year.
And it was good. Change up. Look at the movement that he got when he picked up a couple of those 6 strikeouts. And if you're looking for that breaking ball, he can throw the fastball by you, a little bit of a curveball. He was outstanding in that game. A game the Blue Jays won 1-0. And I just remember him just pounding that strike zone with the fastball and then finishing off hitters with that off-speed stuff.
He went 8 innings. He gave up just 4 hits. That's a career low for Walker. His 4 hits over his complete game, 8-inning effort. Wrong side of a 1-0 game. This is Ezequiel Carrera. Carrera playing in right field this afternoon. Again, the ability for pitchers to make adjustments on the mound is something you gain with experience. You see Felix Hernandez pitch here Friday night. He'll throw one pitch upstairs, and the next pitch is right where he wants it. He just adjusts from pitch to pitch. I think young pitchers, they're so consumed with getting the hitter out, they really don't understand what it feels like to be consistent. But the Cy Young Award winner, Felix Hernandez, he understands you make one bad pitch, you got to correct it immediately.
They just can't do it. They can't do it. There's only a few guys who can come to the big leagues at a young age.
There's a line drive to right. Cruz will make a nice play on it. He hesitated for a moment to get a real good read on it. That ball carried very well. Carrera hits it, but right at the right fielder.
Very nice play by Cruz in the outfield. He also has 4 assists already this season. Watch him track it and then run right through it to finish it. The playoff. To finish that thought about young pitchers, there's only a few who can come at a young age and who can pitch the way Felix Hernandez could pitch. And that is get everything over at any time and have a couple of outstanding pitches.
Kevin Pillar batting with 2 outs takes a first pitch strike.
The rest,
a few Blue Jays that laid off that first pitch.
The rest of the pitchers that come up here, they got to figure themselves out, and they got to refine things, and they got to get a feel for what it's like to pitch in the big leagues and be able to repeat your delivery. I mean, on your hand, you can name just a few of the guys who come here at a young age and dominate.
Pilar gets jammed. They'll flip to second for the force out. The inning is over. They get a leadoff walk, but can't move him up. We'll go to the third. Seattle has an early lead. We're on that. Here's our Barry Davis.
Well, Buck, there's no bigger country fan on the Blue Jays than Mark Buehrle, and he's fortunate enough to have developed a friendship with the Zac Brown Band, specifically the drummer from that band. When he performed in St. Louis recently, Buehrle's wife Jamie had a chance to actually be on stage during the concert with 4 of her friends to get to dance around. But Buehrle's favorite story when it comes to Zac Brown happened a couple of years ago. Buehrle was sitting side stage during the show, and in between songs, Zac Brown's roadie said, "Hey, would you like to be the roadie? Take the next guitar up to him." Buehrle said, "I'll do it," but he told me it was the scariest thing he's ever done in his life. He was afraid he was going to trip over a chord, have the guitar go out of tune, and make a fool of himself right in front of a full crowd. He didn't, and he said it is now one of the memories he'll always cherish. But it's funny, a guy like Mark Buehrle, who can pitch in front of all these people, gets so nervous doing things like that.
Barry, he was out of his element. You put him on a mound in front of 50,000, he's right at home. But you put him on a stage in the middle of a concert, it's a little bit intimidating.
Carry a guitar up there?
Yeah, sorry, Zach, I just dropped your guitar.
I'd like to see Zac Brown come out here and pitch.
Yeah,
change jobs.
He'd be a lot more uncomfortable. There's a liner over Kawasaki into right field. Chris Taylor has a leadoff single here in the third.
Kawasaki leaps, and it's just over his glove. Chris Taylor has had a nice series against the Blue Jays.
Had 2 hits in last night's game, had a double and a single. Back to the top of the order. This is Brad Miller, who walked in the first inning. It was Miller who scored in the first inning on a ground ball bang bang play at first, but after the umpire Will Little called Nelson Cruz safe, Blue Jays challenged the call, and the call on the field was overturned. There's a fly ball to center. Pilar, ball carrying a little deeper than he expected.
Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Beautiful weekend here in Toronto. Chris Taylor anchored at first, 1 out now. Seth Smith, he singled his first time up.
You know, Chris Taylor was fooled a little bit momentarily on this fly ball. Watch him. He goes halfway on a fly ball. They said, you know what, that ball is carrying, so I'm going to try and tag, and I'm going to try and catch Kevin Pillar by mistake. And he doesn't make a mistake. Gets the ball back in very quickly. See if he could catch him sleeping a little bit on that long fly ball.
Yeah, I think Taylor thought it was going to be a routine ball. Once he saw Pillar drifting further back near the warning track, he said, I could tag up, but it was too late by then. So the double play is in order. Blue Jays turned to double play in the first. Sanchez had a big double play on Tuesday in his last start. He got Albert Pujols to ground into a double play in the 6th inning with a couple of runners on.
And he was fired up after that. We were talking to him the next day. He says, I like to show my emotion. That was a big part of the ball game.
Now Smith walks, and that'll push Chris Taylor to second. He'll end up at second with the walk. So that's the second walk of the game issued by Sanchez, and now he's got to deal with Robinson Cano. Cano bounced into a 4-6-3 double play in the first. But sooner or later, Cano's going to come around with the bat.
That timing will be just a little bit better. He'll start catching the ball out in front just a little bit more. He had an 0 for 12 just before this series. Before the Mariners came here, had a couple of hits on Tuesday, and Blue Jays have given him the collar so far in this series.
He's 0 for 8 in this series. But you know that's going to change. The odds are with Robinson Cano. Fouls that ball back, and he's getting some pitches to hit.
He's getting some pitches to hit, but he's a little late. We noticed that yesterday, that he was fouling a lot of balls behind the third base dugout, and that time, that fastball right there started the swing just a little bit late, and he just couldn't catch up to it.
Lloyd McClendon, the skipper of the Mariners, has been a hitting coach, and he was a very good hitter in his playing days. Bouncing ball, that should be 2. Going steps on the bag, it is a double play. So for back-to-back at-bats, Robinson Cano has bounced into a double play. He is 0 for 9 so far in this series.
Canadian Forces, and today we salute Sergeant William Scott Byers. Sergeant Byers has served on 2 deployments to the former Yugoslavia and has also completed 3 tours of Afghanistan, serving in Kandahar in 2006, 2008, and 2010. Today's Sunday salute, Sergeant William Scott Byers. Buck?
Thank you, Barry. Congratulations, Sergeant Byers, and we appreciate your efforts and all your service. Mark Burley always does a terrific job of recognizing the servicemen and women that are saluted here on Sundays at Rogers Center. We move to the bottom of the third, 1-0 for the Mariners. Little different start in Detroit. Houston and Detroit, they've scored 8 runs in the first inning. Houston got 3, Detroit got 5.
Two pretty good pitching staffs right there, taking it on the chin this afternoon.
Anibal Sanchez gave up 3 runs on 3 hits, and Roberto Hernandez gave up 5 runs on 4 hits. He had 3 walks in the first inning.
Was that a Jose Reyes sighting we just saw down on the bench?
It is. Jose Reyes is back from Buffalo. Jose played last night in Toledo. He went 2 for 4 and drove in a pair of runs. So he's back with the ball club, and that's a good sign. He'll play tomorrow night. Goins bounces it off home plate. Taijuan Walker grabs it and stayed with it. What an effort by Walker. He put a glove on it, bobbled it, and then dribbled it off the turf and picked it up before Goins could get to the bag.
Wow. What a play by Taijuan Walker. What an athletic play. Ball is bouncing all over the place. You see, bobbles it momentarily, then catches it with the glove and steps on the bag all at the same time. That ball had some English on it, and it fooled Walker for a second, but then he's able to recover and record the out. Nice play.
What an athletic play by Taijuan Walker. He stayed with it. He wasn't going to give up. He had an out in his grasp, and he stayed with it.
He lettered in baseball and basketball when he was in high school, and he showed some athleticism right there.
Munenori Kawasaki, the second baseman.
I didn't realize how many ex-Seattle Mariners that the Blue Jays have on their roster until I started looking at. This is one of them right here. Kawasaki spent a couple of seasons with the Mariners. You've got Justin Smoke.
Kawasaki played 2012 with the Mariners. He got into 61 games.
Michael Saunders, R.E. Dickey, some other former Mariners.
Now Walker falls behind 3-0 to the number 9 hitter, Kawasaki.
That'll give you a slow burn, won't it, if you're the manager?
There's strike 3-1. And he walks him. Kawasaki walks with 1 out. Second walk issued by Taijuan Walker.
Boy, that's what he does right there. Work that pitcher, and he works him over for a walk. Walks the lead, or excuse me, the number 9 batter.
So back to the top of the order. Josh Donaldson popped out to the third baseman on the first pitch he saw this afternoon. Ball in the dirt. Castillo on it quickly.
Rushed that one just a little bit. Lloyd McClendon was talking the other day after Taijuan Walker's last start, and some of the quotes that he said about his young right-handers. Command wasn't there, and he has struggled with his velocity, meaning that he wasn't throwing the good fastball. He was throwing a lot more off-speed stuff. He's got to learn to get after it and rely on his stuff, and his stuff is outstanding.
You know, we see so many of these young pitchers like Walker, and now of course he's pitching out of the stretch because there's a runner at first, but he throws out of this abbreviated windup all the time. He's a big young man, big, strong, strapping, athletic guy. I would love to see him use a windup.
Yeah.
Develop some momentum like the old timers, like Don Drysdale and Juan Marichal, Jim Palmer, all those guys that created a lot of flow and a lot of rhythm in their delivery. I think he could generate more consistency with the same velocity.
You know, besides David Price, and Price has got that type of delivery, very slow and deliberate, but I think his hand and wrist action is really good. As good as anybody in the game. But the pitchers, though, who are trying to copy that and who throw out that abbreviated stretch position, you know, the one thing I've found, they're inconsistent throwing strikes. There's no rhythm. There's no rhythm in their windup. And what did you call it? Some form and some momentum.
Develop some rhythm and momentum.
There's no rhythm in their windups.
Chris Tillman of the Orioles has used this for the last couple of years, and he's lost velocity.
He's lost velocity. He's lost his ability to reach out and throw his fastball for strikes.
See Trent Jewett, the bench coach, giving the signs to Castillo. 2-2 pitch. Kawasaki not running, and it's strike 3. Donaldson can't believe it, and you can see why. Pitch off the plate inside is called strike 3. Donaldson giving it to the umpire over his shoulder as he walks back to the dugout, and that inside pitch is probably off the plate 2-3 inches.
He thought it was low and inside. You can see from that pitch tracker that it was. You can see Castillo setting up on the inside part of the plate. What might have bought it for him is you see him reach back for the baseball. He was set up off the plate and then reach back over the plate and gets the call.
Well, Russell Martin had a couple go against him earlier.
First strikeout of the afternoon for either pitcher.
Here is Russell Martin. He popped out to the shortstop his first time up. Kawasaki doesn't have base stealing speed any longer, but they're going to keep an eye on him.
Cut down that lead. It's not a real big lead over there at first base for Kawasaki. Not really a threat to steal.
Martin pops it up. He got another pitch he felt was hittable. Seager, the third baseman, waits for it. The inning is over. The Blue Jays get a 1-out walk. They leave another base runner. We'll go to the fourth. 1-0 Seattle. Blue Jays haven't had a hit yet.
Loves to collect hats. Marcus Stroman. Hats and bubble gum. And you'll get both of them on his bobblehead day coming up on June the 7th as the Blue Jays host the Astros. The first 20,000 fans will receive a free Marcus Stroman bobblehead. Go to BlueJays.com for tickets. That's a pretty good likeness too, Buck.
It's not bad at all, Barry, and he's even got a little gold chain on his neck, just like Marcus Stroman. Marcus was impressed with the bobblehead. He will be back for that June 7th day when they present his bobblehead to the fans when they make their way into Rogers Center. It's a 1-0 game. Nelson Cruz grounded out to shortstop his first time up, but it took a video challenge to get the out call.
Yeah, he thought he was one hit closer to 1,000. He's getting real close to 1,000 in his career. He thought he had a hit and an RBI.
He's got 997 hits. That 1,000 plateau is something well within his reach. He's got a 5-game hit streak going.
It's another problem. You saw him throw that ball and yank it way outside. Aaron says, I have to stay on top of the ball and make it go down.
Either that changeup in the dirt.
He says he gets in trouble when he gets on the side of the ball like that, and he's not able to stay on top of it and work the ball.
He strikes out Cruz. Cruz will run to first, but he's thrown out by Martin. That's the first strikeout for Sanchez. He's started now with 1 strikeout.
Boy, he's got such great movement on all of his pitches. That time it's the changeup. You can see him roll that ball right off of his finger, and for a good fastball hitting player like Cruz, that changeup can be tough.
One down. Kyle Seager homered in the second inning. It was the second consecutive day that he hit a home run in the second inning. He had one yesterday against Mark Burley.
This is his 17th game in this ballpark, and he loves hitting here. He's hit 5 home runs now.
It is a good hitting ballpark. We've seen that with Josh Donaldson playing his first year here as a Blue Jay. And hitters like the background.
Oh, this guy can hit anywhere. He can hit in any ballpark.
Well, get used to the Seager name because you're going to hear it a lot. Corey Seager was just promoted by the Dodgers from AA to AAA. He hit .372 in AA with 5 homers and 14 RBIs, and now he's going to AAA.
I was talking to a major league scout the other day, and I asked him about Corey Seager, and he says this guy is a difference maker. He plays shortstop. He's a big guy. He said, wait till you see his swing. It's a left-handed swing like his brother Kyle. He said it's just picture perfect, beautiful. Dodgers have another one.
His manager in AA is Razor Shines. And in his valuation of Corey, he said he's different than anybody else. High praise from the manager. 2 strikeouts as Kyle Seager strikes out, 2 down.
That looked like another changeup from Sanchez. He's getting good movement. Yeah, there it is, right off those 2 fingers. He's getting great arm speed with it, fooling the hitters. He's getting good movement, and he's putting it in a good spot. Strikes out a pretty hot hitter.
2 down. Logan Morrison, the first baseman. To finish up on the Seager story, there's one more Seager playing in pro ball, Justin Seager. He's a 22-year-old infielder with the Mariners. He's 6'4". They come from North Carolina, and certainly that's a baseball family. But it could be very soon that you see 3 Seagers in the big leagues.
Is there any more? If there is, go scout them. Go get them. Wow, they can all hit. He's an all-star. Told you he's a Gold Glover. All-star. He's got a home run today.
3-0 to Logan Morrison. He goes after that 3-0 pitch. It's down the right side. That's a fair ball. Bounces up against the wall. No fan interference. Carrera plays it back in. Logan Morrison got the green light on 3-0.
And you might ask yourself, well, why are you giving Logan Morrison, who's hitting .219 coming into this game, the green light? You know what? He has done some damage in the month of May. He's got 5 home runs already this month. You know you're going to get a fastball. And Lloyd McClendon was hoping he got that fastball. He's also hoping they get that ball up. But he bangs it down the right field line for extra bases. He's standing in scoring position.
Well, especially with Sanchez, who had 2 strikeouts in the inning. You give a hitter a 3-0 count against somebody that's got nasty stuff like Sanchez, go ahead and let him swing it. Castillo goes after the first pitch and grounds out, so the 2-out double doesn't hurt. The Mariners have a run on 4 hits. Blue Jays looking for their first hit in support of Aaron Sanchez. Encarnacion, Colabello, and Smoke.
presented by Acura. Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual-clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Beautiful day here in Ontario, and it is Country Day here. Good crowd on hand. There were 30,000 on hand yesterday, and you can see all the hats. No, that is not a group. Everybody's got a hat. Country Day hats presented by the Blue Jays, and so far so good. They're seeing a well-pitched game on both sides. The Blue Jays still trying to come up with their first hit against Taijuan Walker.
You know, we talk about it all the time, Buck, about good pitching will stop good hitting. Well, the Seattle Mariners right now, they're getting great pitching, great starting pitching.
The Blue Jays have averaged 5.1 run per game, and in this series they've averaged 2.5 runs a game too.
Yeah, they've scored 5 runs in the first 2 games. And this team, the Mariners, especially their starters, in the last just over a month, their team ERA is under 3. They're getting the great pitching, and they're waiting for their hitting to come along. And once those two meet, this is a team that could go on a long run.
Seattle is 20-22, 2 games under 500. They're currently 7 games back in the AL West. Houston leading the West. The Angels 5.5 back, and then Seattle half game ahead of Texas. Texas has won 4 in a row. They're only 3 games under 500. Prince Fielder leading the way for the Rangers. 3-2 to Encarnacion. Colabello standing on deck. Coming inside. Ball 4.
How about that? 0-2. He was ahead of Encarnacion and then lost him.
Blue Jays the last 2 weeks over their 14 games have gone 3-11. The ERA just under 5. Their pitching has been pretty good, especially the starting pitching last couple of times through the rotation. But their average is 240, and the runs has dropped a full run per game.
There's that 4 runs a game problem, and they're out homered. A team that hits home runs, they've been out homered 10 times, by 10, in those last 14 ball games. So the pitching is starting to get a little bit better. Now the hitting, they've run into some good pitching teams.
Well, Colabello took a look at that outside strike. It's 0-1. Chris walked his first time up, was erased on a fielder's choice.
You know what I think they have to do? They have to start stringing together base hits. If they're running into this good pitching like that, you're not going to hit home runs. You're going to have to put together innings, long innings, where you mix in base hits, walks, extra base hits.
Colabello was thinking about another pitch and took a fastball. He's behind 0-2. Flies this one into center field. Ackley calls for it, and Colabello is retired. 1 down. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Stephen Vogt's playing terrific baseball for the A's. He's hitting over 300. He's got 32 RBIs, and he's among the leaders in home runs. He's done a terrific job.
Pretty nasty collision. We haven't seen that in a couple of years.
I'm surprised they didn't throw somebody out of the game. You're going to bruise a catcher. Come on. 0-1 to Smoke, the former Mariner. Justin flying out to center. Boy, he had a good rip. He fouled it straight back. He's behind 0-2. You know, you talk about stringing hits together. It's tough to do when you're facing guys like Felix Hernandez, and you don't have a full complement of players. No Reyes over the weekend. He'll come back tomorrow. Bautista has been less than 100% because of that shoulder. Deanna Navarro was off to a good start. He's been out of the lineup. Don't have your regular players. It's tough.
How about Devin Travis? Devin Travis hasn't been right for a couple of weeks.
Major league players are major league players for a reason, and if you're an everyday player, you're a good player. And not to take anything away from the extra players, but you know, they're fill-in players. They're supposed to play a couple days a week at the most. There's a high fly ball to right. Nelson Cruz coming in, shading his eyes from the sun, makes the catch. Smokes retired. But hopefully the Blue Jays are getting close. Jose Bautista has taken a cortisone shot. And when you have a cortisone shot, you don't know how you're going to bounce back from that. Some days you're good the next day. Other times it takes a couple of days before you get right. But Blue Jays want Bautista, obviously, when they go into Washington, to play interleague baseball.
No DH. No DH. If he's going to play, he's going to have to play in the field somewhere. Yeah, cortisone shot doesn't fix the problem. Just reduces some of the inflammation in the area. But it takes a couple of days before you can get back out there.
Ezequiel Carrera hit a line drive to right field his first time up. Hit it hard, but right at Nelson Cruz. You ever had a cortisone shot?
Mm-hmm. Right in my knee, right in the joint. That was a good day.
Yeah, oh yeah, they're fun, aren't they?
I had a lot of fun that day.
I had 5 in one session. The doctor in Anaheim was trying to hit a bone bruise in my heel. And he shot it 5 different times.
And missed 4 times?
Yeah.
He missed 4 times and hit it once.
Yes.
Are you still friends with the guy?
No. Ground ball up the middle. Nice play by Miller as he flips to Chris Taylor to end the inning. We'll go to the 5th, 1-0 Seattle. Now time for Blue Jays Central Update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zahn.
World Citizen tattooed across his chest applies so well to Toronto's biggest free agent acquisition. Russell Martin, World Citizen, tonight, 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock Pacific on Sportsnet. Guys, a great job as always by Stephen Brunt and company.
That'll be something to see for sure. And Russell Martin's a very interesting young man in his background. Of course, he was born here in Toronto, grew up in Montreal, played for the Dodgers early on, but Stephen Brunt does a terrific job in these documentaries, so make sure you check it all out later on tonight. Blue Jays are waiting on the home plate umpire Tony Randazzo as he was over, probably getting a few more baseballs. Dustin Ackley, number 8 hitter. Once again, Blue Jays are getting a pretty good effort from their starter. That has been the theme the last time through the rotation.
Getting length, putting up some zeros, pitching effective baseball. Well, you just watch Aaron work, and it seems like every inning that he puts in his career, he gets a little bit more confident.
You know what's really interesting, too? And some of the Blue Jays people were questioned about why you would use Todd Redmond to start on Monday. Todd Redmond came up and made a spot start on Monday, went 4 innings, But John Gibbons, Pete Walker had talked about it. They said, we want to push everybody back a day to get them fresh. And boy, has it paid off dividends. The starters since that start on Monday have all been terrific.
Yeah, that's something that they did last year, and they had some effective outcomes because of that. Blue Jays, before their off day on Thursday, where Chris Taylor has another base hit, 36 games in 37 days. So there's nothing wrong with pushing them back one day and just giving them a little bit of blow. I think it just gives them a little bit more strength. They're a little bit sharp. They have one extra day of rest, and it's worked out for them. Teams are doing that all over baseball. It's not just the Blue Jays.
Yeah, it's been something that everybody will do from time to time, whether it's skip a starter, and the White Sox are going to do it Monday here. That was a Carlos Rodon spot in the rotation. They've skipped him, and they'll use Hector Noesi to open up the series tomorrow night. Since that start on Monday, Aaron Sanchez pitched on Tuesday, went 7 1/3. Hutchinson went 6 2/3. Dickey goes 9. Estrada goes 7, and Burley goes 7 1/3. It worked.
It worked. Give them just a little bit more rest. Just catch your breath just a little bit. In the olden days, they used to skip guys. The guy who was ineffective. Now they just give him those extra days.
Brad Miller, the second baseman. Ball on the strike.
He's been swinging a hot bat, Brad Miller. Told you that he was the player of the week, May 11th through the 17th. Hit over 400, hit 4 home runs that week. So he's got some pop in that bat if you make a mistake.
Rolls over on that changeup. I asked Russell Martin about the Sanchez changeup this morning. He said, you know, I'm not really concerned about him throwing it for strikes. I would like to see him use it down and away to lefties, down and into righties. That's the same location. That's the arm side changeup. He said, I don't need it to be a strike. I just want to get some swings on it.
That sets up everything else, doesn't it? Now it looks like they're going to go up with a fastball.
Runner is scoring. Another great throw, and in time at second. Russell Martin continues to throw out base runners at an amazing pace. He guns down Chris Taylor in a strike him out, throw him out. He wanted the fastball upstairs. He gets the strikeout, then he throws a strike to second. Hit 18 home runs against his former team since the team traded him to the Blue Jays in January of 2011. Then the Blue Jays sent him to Texas just 4 days later, but Mike Napoli started to sort things out. They discovered something in his stroke.
Yeah, Dustin Pedroia must be a heck of a hitting coach. They looked at film of Napoli on the way back from the West Coast and discovered that he wasn't getting his hands moving before the pitch. Well, it's working now. Home run stroke has come back.
There's a pop-up behind first. This is going to drop. That's the first base hit. Leadoff single, first base hit for the Blue Jays. Let's check in with Barry Davis.
Well, guys, yesterday afternoon we saw Ryan Goins look like what appeared to be suffer a serious twisted ankle when he was making his way down to first base. He was down in a heap, limped off the field, but then he was right back out the next inning at shortstop. We asked him yesterday how he was able to do that. He said he has, quote, a rubber ankle. He says he's twisted and sprained his ankle many, many times. Most times he's able to get right back up. This time he said it was one of the most painful ones that he's experienced, so therefore it took him a few extra minutes to walk it off in the dugout. Now, we've heard of guys having rubber arms before, but have you ever heard of someone with a rubber ankle?
Yeah, we have, Barry. I think it's something that athletes will deal with from time to time. But you've sprained your ankle so many times over the course of your career that you will sprain it and it will collapse like Goins yesterday. But then if you walk it off, everything is fine because your ankles become so loose.
And I asked him about that. He said, I used to do it when I was a younger player a lot, coming out of the batter's box like that. Hasn't done it much as a professional, but when he was a younger player, he says he's done it before.
There's a deep drive to right. Get up, ball. Get up. God, home run, Ryan Goins. That ankle is just fine. Thank you. First two hits of the ball game, and the Blue Jays have the lead. Home run number one for Goins, and it's a big one.
You know, in baseball, you hear that saying, a bloop and a blast. Well, the Blue Jays got their bloop and a blast right there. First, Kevin Pillar dumps that one into right field. And then Ryan Goins picks the perfect time to hit his first home run of the season. A deep blast. There's some home run power in that swing.
He's been swinging the bat well.
Here's your bloop and a blast. He gets sawed off and just bloops it into right field for a base hit. And then Ryan Goins says, here's number one on the season. And just like that, the Blue Jays take the lead.
Kawasaki grounds out to second. Well, the Blue Jays hadn't had a hit until that bloop. And then the blast. Beautiful swing by Goins.
Yeah, what a finish. He got through that one. Pulls it into the seats in right field. Gives the Blue Jays the lead.
2-1 ball game. The Blue Jays, they haven't fared too well in one-run games. They will be anxious to add to this lead. Josh Tolley says, man, there's power in that thing. That was Michael Saunders, actually. It's on the bench with the Blue Jays. Everybody wants to get that first home run out of the way, that's for sure.
And make it a big one. That's a big one right there. 2-run home run, put your team in the lead.
Josh Donaldson, he's 0 for 2.
He hit it so well that he could sit there and admire it. I don't think he did.
No.
But he hit it so well, so far, that he could enjoy that one.
Look out, Josh. Donaldson played in the AL West with Oakland, and he hasn't fared well against Mariner pitching coming into this game. He had a 158 average in 50 games. Seattle features a lot of good pitchers.
Yeah, two brutal ballparks to hit in. Oakland and Seattle. For hitters.
Absolutely tough hitter ballparks, and that's why it's really amazing what Nelson Cruz has done early this season in Safeco Field.
And he says he likes it. He says he enjoys hitting in Seattle. But he doesn't have to face their pitching staff anymore.
Nelson Cruz having a terrific start to his first season with the Mariners. Signed a free agent contract to go to Seattle. Said part of the reason he wanted to sign with Seattle, he liked hitting at Safeco Field. Good crowd here at Rogers Center. It is Country Day, and they have enjoyed a good ball game. And they have been all three good ball games. Blue Jays just lost the first two, 4-3 on Friday night, 3-2 yesterday afternoon. They're getting into it with the wave, and they gave away Blue Jay country trucker hats. Had some country music before the game. Donaldson strikes out, loses his bat. 2 down.
Second time that Josh has gone down this afternoon against Taijuan Walker. Is only 2 strikeouts. That time outside. That looked like a breaking ball away. And Donaldson waves at it. 2 down.
Russell Martin, the catcher, has popped out twice. Goes after the first pitch. Just a sinking liner is going to drop in front of Ackley and bounces over his head. Martin is around first. He will stop at second. Russell Martin with a 2-out double. Ackley read it perfectly. Said, okay, I can't make a catch. So he pulled up, but the ball bounced over his head.
Just got a little bit too close to this. The sun is out. The roof is off. That turf gets a little heated, and it becomes a little spongy, a little springy. And that ball to Ackley, tries to keep it in front of him, bounces right over his head. Extra bases.
The Blue Jays are 2-10 in one-run games, so it's important to add to this lead. Martin's in scoring position for Edwin Encarnacion.
Just don't know if he's going to challenge him. You've got first base open after that double there from Martin. Don't know if he's going to challenge him. You got a proven run producer at the plate in Encarnacion. Blue Jay fans were hoping that they challenge him and pitch to him, but I'd be surprised if they did.
And that pitch up and in at 97. Martin at second. All these young Mariners pitchers, they have that changeup, and certainly that's the bread and butter pitch for Felix Hernandez, and it moves a lot. Some people believe it's like a split, but it's truly a changeup. Inside, he is not throwing anything near the middle of the plate to Encarnacion.
Fastball's in and then changeup to try and get Encarnacion to fish for him.
Colabello has walked and flied out to center. I don't expect anything close here. Oh, he got him too close. Get up, gone. 2-run homer for Encarnacion. There's some insurance.
You know, like you, I didn't expect them to even pitch to Edwin Encarnacion. He's been swinging a hot bat. What a month of May for Edwin. 3-2. You try and throw something off the plate, see if he'll fish for it. If you walk him, big deal. You face the next guy, but he got way too much of the plate. And Edwin was waiting for him.
His 8th home run in the month of May. That gives him 12 for the season.
Catcher sets up on the inner half. Fastball right down Broadway. Edwin's hit a few in the past. He knows what they feel like.
When the big boys hit him, they can look at him. And Edwin is one of the big boys. Watch him stare at this high booming drive. Yep, he got it all. (4-1) Blue Jays. They didn't have a hit coming into this inning.
Edwin gets it started in a groove. He might have been surprised that they pitched to him, but he says thank you very much.
Change up. 2-2 to Colabello. Blue Jays have gone back-to-back just once this season. That was Bautista and Encarnacion at Houston. Full count again to Colabello. Ryan Goins hit the 2-run home run to start the scoring. Edwin Encarnacion, his 2-run home run, made it a 4-1 game. Line drive into center, and that's going to drop. Boy, Ackley, they got a bad read on that ball.
Yeah, he's got to catch that ball. That ball is going to get backed up, even if he has to dive for it. He got a little gun shy on that ball. It hung up there for him if he wants to make the catch. He got it. Initially came after it, and then right there made the decision, but I don't think he could have caught that ball. But he backs up on it. Chris Colabello says thank you, and he's got himself a hit.
Colabello is 1 for 2 with a walk. Now Justin Smoke will bat with 2 outs. Smoke, the 8th man to bat here in the 5th, and remember, Taijuan Walker was cruising. It all started with that bloop off the bat of Kevin Pillar. Four runs on 5 hits this inning. Two balls and a strike to Justin Smoke.
Boy, he is looking to uncork one too, isn't he? Something up in the strike zone, try to knock him out of the ball game.
Danny Farquhar, the former Blue Jay, is starting to loosen up down in the Mariners bullpen. Justin Smoke started out with Texas. He came to Seattle July 9th, 2010. He strikes out. The inning is over, but the Blue Jays jumped all over Taijuan Walker. 4 runs on 5 hits, 2 home runs in the inning. And now we head to the 6th, and here comes the Home Hardware cleanup crew. Brought to you by Natura, Home Hardware's exclusive line of safe, environmentally friendly cleaning products.
You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live or on demand in True HD. Real-time highlights, live look-ins, pitch tracking widget, and much more. It also includes a free At-Bat 15 subscription. Watch baseball at home, at the office, or on the go. Season-long subscription packages are available. Visit BlueJays.com for more details. And a look at the app today. Blue Jay fans will be very happy to know the Miami Marlins up on the Baltimore Orioles 4-0. Miguel Gonzalez has given up all 4 runs through 4 innings of work. Buck.
But Tom Kohler is pitching very well for Miami. They won their first game for Dan Jennings, the general manager that named himself manager. His first major league win as a manager came in a game of 13 innings long. It's interesting that Dan Jennings joins Cy Young, who also won his first game as a manager in an extra inning game, 13 innings or longer. Cy Young, the manager. Cy Young, the pitcher, of course, has the award named after him. But Dan Jennings gets his first win, and Marlins are trying to make it 2 in a row for their former GM.
Maybe it is that easy.
It's tough. Not that easy. Sanchez to Seth Smith. A 2-2 count. Aaron Sanchez now with a 4-1 lead.
Get that shutdown inning right here. Your team scored you 4 runs. Attack these guys. That last pitch looked like Aaron overthrew it just a little bit.
Tried to throw that breaking ball too hard. You're right, and I think this is one thing Aaron's going to learn how to do is just back off your velocity a little bit, create a little more movement, and be able to snap your fingers and throw a strike. There he gets Smith to strike out. 1 out. Let's check in with Jamie Campbell. Former Blue Jay Danny Echeverria hitting .309 for the Miami Marlins. He scores that run, and they're enjoying a nice game against the Orioles. That's good news for the Blue Jays. How about the Yankees? The Yankees have lost 9 out of 10. Tampa Bay leads the American League East 1.5 games over the Yankees. Then the Orioles, Boston, and Toronto. 1 through 5. Everybody's still bunched up.
Yeah, 5 in a row lost by the Yankees, and they're now just a game over 500 heading into today's action. Starting pitching. You're going to have a great bullpen, and the Yankees have a great bullpen, but they can never use them because the starters can't get them to those save situations.
CC Sabathia knocked out of the game yesterday, and he was hammered. Sabathia just got pummeled as he was knocked out of that ball game, and their starting pitching has been beaten up. Sounds like Tanaka is going to make one more rehab start and then could join the rotation. Robbie Cano now 3-1. Cano has grounded into 2 double plays today. He's 0 for 9 in the series. That's bounced foul.
Tough to get on top of that pitch, isn't it, when it's coming in like that? Aaron was saying when I was a reliever last year, I could come in and just power that fastball by guys. I knew I had just 1 inning, mix in an occasional breaking ball now and then. As a starter, I've had to use 3 pitches, and I don't want to say I had to pace myself, but it looked like he was just trying to be too fine.
Another bouncing ball to Hopper to Kawasaki. 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership. It is Country Day here at Rogers Center, and the Blue Jays are enjoying a 4-1 lead.
You know, now as a starter, he can keep powering that fastball like he did as as a setup, or excuse me, as a closer, relief pitcher for the Blue Jays.
He came back in May, have caught the outside corner, but Sanchez doesn't get to call against Nelson Cruz. Right back to Sanchez. Quick inning here in the 6th, 3 up, 3 down. Blue Jays gave him a 4 spot. He retires the side in order. Sanchez fielding his position on the hard one hopper back to the mound.
Follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram using the hashtag Blue Jays. And guys, one of the things that people have been tweeting about for the last few days, when will the Jays finally have a game where they get strong pitching and hitting at the same time? And today it looks like they're finally doing that.
It might be today, and if that's the case, we're going to have more country days.
Couldn't say that until last inning.
Yep.
They were getting no hit, but then busted out of it in a big way.
Ezequiel Carrera grounds out to the second baseman, Brad Miller. Carrera was the only Blue Jay not to bat in that 5th inning. They sent 8 men to the plate against Taijuan Walker. Got 4 runs on 5 hits, including 2 home runs.
And the guy coming up to the plate got it all started for the Blue Jays.
It has been a bit of a rough month for Kevin Pillar, but maybe that blue pit will get him going a bit. His average down to 227. In the month of May, Pillar coming into this game batting 170-71.
Balance. That's what Brooke Jacoby was talking about with Kevin Pillar, that he feels like at times when he is starting and finishing his swing that he's a little bit off balance.
Well, the one thing about being Kevin Pillar now is he's playing every day. So he's going to have 4, maybe 5 at-bats every day. So I think it has given him a little bit of an opportunity to relax. And, you know, when you're a young player trying to earn some playing time, you have a tendency to put too much stock into each and every at-bat.
And try too hard.
Do or die.
Can't do that. Also, as a hitter, you know, one little thing can go astray, and then all of a sudden you're off balance. And you're missing pitches that you used to hit.
High pop into foul territory. Logan Morrison there. 2 down.
Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Beautiful Sunday afternoon in Toronto, and we're just a couple blocks away from the shores of Lake Ontario. Ryan Goins takes the first pitch curveball. Goins hit his first home run of the season his last time up. It'll be interesting to see how John Gibbons sorts out the second base situation when Reyes returns, and that's anticipated tomorrow night. Devin Travis still not taking BP, and it might be a while before he's back, and he can't play until June 1st. Coming off the DL.
They're platooning now. It's a straight platoon right now, and I think when Jose Reyes gets back, I think it stays a platoon with Ryan and Steve Tollefson. Goins stays here because he can play shortstop.
We have seen that. He can really play shortstop. He takes a 2-out walk from Taijuan Walker. That's the fourth walk of the afternoon issued by Walker. So the Mariner bullpen is going to get up and go to work once again. It's starting to stir down in right field.
He has left a runner on every base but the first inning. He's been in and out of trouble all afternoon.
Munenori Kawasaki walked and grounded out. You would anticipate it will be Kawasaki who is sent back to AAA Buffalo, but then again, you can't assume anything until the Blue Jays make an official announcement. But Kawasaki came up to fill in once Reyes went on the rehab.
And Travis went on the disabled list. He came up here, and he's a straight platoon with Steve Tollefson right now for this weekend. They needed the extra body. They were playing short for a couple of days, hoping that Devin could get better and get back in the lineup.
Lloyd McClendon checking on the status of their relief pitcher. Bouncing ball through the right side, base hit. Goins will turn and go to third. Kawasaki has a base hit. He snuck it through the right side of the infield.
They're holding the runner on first base. That creates a big hole. You don't have to hit it that hard. Kawasaki didn't hit that ball hard. He just was able to get it by Morrison. You can see the hole on the right side. That's a three-hopper into the outfield. It sends Goins over to third base. Kawasaki has his first hit since he was recalled. And the Blue Jays have something going now with 2 out.
Josh Donaldson 0 for 3 with a pair of strikeouts. Castillo's going to go out and buy the bullpen a little more time before they deal with Donaldson with 2 outs. He's going to make sure that the pen has plenty of time. In fact, this might be a change as McClendon might go to Farquhar here. Farquhar was up earlier in the game. It shouldn't take him long to get ready, and he'll have 8 more pitches should they need him.
That's what it looks like, doesn't it? Just the stall game just a little bit, just to get that pitcher a couple more throws down in the bullpen. We'll see.
And here comes McClendon. That's all it was a visit to the mound to buy some time for Farquhar. They are certain he is ready to go, so McClendon not wanting to give Donaldson a fourth look at Taijuan Walker. They're already down by 3. They've got 2 outs. They'll give Donaldson a fresh look. Walker hands off to the skipper. Taijuan Walker's out of the game. Danny Farquhar in to face Josh Donaldson. The Blue Jays have a 4-1 lead. Just 4 hits. New pitcher into the game is Danny Farquhar. He will work to Josh Donaldson as Taijuan Walker is out of the game. 5 2/3, 6 hits allowed, and 4 runs. The runners on base are his responsibilities.
He has 2 quick outs here in the 6th inning, then a couple of base runners, and Danny Farquhar, 20th game of the season. Farquhar second on the team with those 19 relief appearances, tied for 17th in the American League. He's a former Blue Jay. He has closed games for Seattle.
Donaldson squibs it off the end of the bat. If you don't think that's a big run down at third base, you're mistaken. The Blue Jays, when they score 4 runs or less, are 2 and 22. When they score 5 runs or more, they're 17 and 4. That's a big run at third.
Yeah, let's figure out a way to get him in.
1-1 pitch. 1-2.
The inning started very quietly. Ground out and a pop out. Then that 4-pitch walk to Ryan Goins, the number 8 hitter. And then the base hit has set this up where the Blue Jays trying to bust this thing open.
Pitches, 3 of them up and in. Donaldson looked like he was anticipating something inside.
He's faced Farquhar 5 times. He's got a hit off of him. He knows a little something about him.
They pitch him up, and Farquhar strikes out Donaldson. This is the 3rd time Josh has struck out. The Blue Jays leave a pair. 4-1 will go to the 7th.
More? No problem. Save money, create lasting memories with your coworkers, teammates, family, and friends. You can book your group today at 416-341-1188 or bluejays.com/groups. The group there with their trucker hats on, Buck.
They're having a great time here. Now the Blue Jays have a 4-1 lead, so that enhances their experience here at Rogers Center. But it's another good crowd on hand. A gorgeous day with the roof wide open. White Sox will be in town tomorrow night, first of 3 against Chicago. It'll be Monday night, Tuesday night. And we want to remind you, Wednesday is a 12:30 start. So don't check your schedules, because on the schedule it was a night game. They have changed that time to 12:30 on Wednesday afternoon. There's a base hit off the bat of Kyle Seager through the vacated hole at shortstop. They were playing him to pull, and he crosses him up. Seager's 2 for 3.
Roberto Osuna, as soon as this inning started, got up and was starting to stretch it out just in case. They're going through some pretty good hitters right here, and John Gibbons wants to be ready.
Osuna pitched 2/3 of an inning yesterday and threw just 8 pitches. Logan Morrison hit a 3-0 double down the right field line and went all the way into the corner. Sanchez had struck out Cruz and Seager in the 4th, and then Morrison with a 3-0 count got the green light. But they stranded him on base.
Good pitch. Well, when he keeps that fastball down and it's moving like that, it's tough to elevate it, and you can get out of an inning. You get 2 outs with 1 pitch. You've already turned a couple of double plays this afternoon for him.
3 when you count the strike him out, throw him out. Off the glove of Russell Martin, and that's going to eliminate the double play possibility. Boy, Seager really hustled down to second and makes a big turn as the ball gets away from Russell Martin, goes back to the screen, and Seager, not really knowing where that ball was going to bounce, went into second base full speed and turned just in case it took an awkward bounce.
If it hits something and maybe ricochets and goes over to the dugouts, maybe you can advance another 90 feet.
It's a wild pitch charged to Sanchez, and now Morrison behind 1-2. Pulls the ball on the right side. Kawasaki from the outfield throws him out. Seager moves to third base. This is where Sanchez just has to glance up at the scoreboard, and it tells you all you need to know about the strategy right here.
Yeah, get me outs right here.
Don't worry about that guy at third.
Means nothing right now. You're looking for outs. And you don't have to overthrow right here trying to strike the guy out. Just get an out.
See Rich Donaldson, the third base coach for Seattle, reminding Seager, hey, the infield is playing back. Ground ball to the middle of the diamond, you can score easily. A little chop ball at the corners, you're going to score as well. The only place you avoid breaking for home is back to the pitcher.
Back to the mound.
Castillo has lined out and grounded out. Lines this one to right. Carrera on the line makes the catch. Here's the throw to the plate. It's strong, but not in time. Seager slides across with the second Mariner run. But now there are 2 outs.
Boy, if Carrera could have caught that ball with his momentum coming towards home plate and then throw in one motion, I think he would have had a better shot. Ball's hit hard to right field. Seager goes right back to tag him. Watch how he catches it flat-footed. Now he's got to turn around and uncork the throw, and that just gives Seager a little bit of time to get in there.
You're right. If there was a little air under that ball, he would have had time to run around it and build some momentum toward home. But because it was hit on the line, he had to catch it flat-footed. So it's a 4-2 game. That wild pitch factoring into that Mariner run.
Yes, it does. Something like that will get lost in the box score, but it won't get lost in your earned run.
Ground ball, another hole left at shortstop with the shift. Ackley takes advantage of that. That's the second ground ball base hit this inning because of the shift. And with that, John Gibbons has come out of the Blue Jays dugout. He has pulled the plug on Aaron Sanchez. Sanchez will go 6 2/3 here this afternoon. He will leave up by 2 with a runner at first. Another good start for Sanchez, in line for the win. For 2 Blue Jays, Aaron Sanchez's day has come to an end. Aaron Sanchez goes 6 2/3. He leaves the ball game, allowing 2 runs on 7 hits. The runner at first is his responsibility. That's Dustin Ackley. Roberto Osuna, his 19th game of the season.
Yeah, we saw Roberto yesterday, 2/3 of an inning. And Roberto picked up a strikeout in that inning. He's done a good job keeping those inherited runners from scoring this season. Here's another time for that. Arizona, 71% of the time he has stranded that runner when he comes into a ball game.
Missing both of those pitches up and in to Chris Taylor, and Taylor's 2 more hits today, had 2 hits in the game yesterday. Osuna misses 3-0, and that's been a real strength of his ability to come in and throw strike 1.
That's rare right there, him falling behind like that. He's had excellent control so far this season. He hasn't allowed a run in his last 9 games. Just doesn't walk himself into problems.
He's retired 14 of 17 first batters. And that's a great number when you bring a young pitcher into a ball game middle of the inning, and he's going to get you that first out. 3-1, 2 outs. Right on the corner. Osuna made a tough pitch on the 3-1 count.
Gets the call on that ball away. Now 3-2, 2 outs. The runner's going to get a head start. Justin Smoke reminding all the infielders, everybody on the infield, that the play is going to be over at first base.
There goes Ackley. Popped up behind home and out of play. Leadoff man Brad Miller has gone 0 for 2 with a walk. He would be the batter. Mariners don't have a left-handed bat on the bench. They all started in this game against Aaron Sanchez. Roberto Osuna is 20 years old in relief of 22-year-old Aaron Sanchez. Another foul back out of play. Chris Taylor went 0 for 4 in the opener. He's since gone 4 for 6. Couple of 2-hit games. Ackley will be on the move. Fly ball deep to right field. Carrera over near the line makes the running catch, and Osuna strands another inherited base runner in support of Aaron Sanchez, who's in line for the win. Go to the bottom of the 7th. The Jays lead at 4-2.
Sign up at nextissue.ca/baseball and get an extended 60-day free trial. Well, Buck, Country Day is definitely the story here today, and as are Aaron Sanchez and Edwin Encarnacion.
It's been a big day all around. 37,929 came out for Country Day. Another big hit. And the Blue Jays have a 4-2 lead. Aaron Sanchez in line for the win. Edwin Encarnacion, another home run. Ryan Goins as well. Pair of 2-run homers. Russell Martin doubled and scored ahead of the Encarnacion home run. Blue Jays once again another 4-run inning. They've scored all of their runs in the 5th.
Boy, that's getting a little bit too frequent where they score in just one inning and then shut it down for the rest of the game. We talked about that earlier today about bunching hits together and having big innings, keeping the pressure on the opposition.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Chris Taylor gets an in-between hop. Handles it well. 1 down. The drive of the game is presented by Acura. Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
You know, we've seen this before from Edwin Encarnacion. He gets that fastball right down Broadway. 3-2. That is a 2-run home run off of Ty Walker. With 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th inning, our drive of the game lands in the seats.
What a beautiful sound, that crack of the bat off the bat of Edwin Encarnacion.
Well, I have a reason why.
Okay.
Why he's hitting the home runs today. I think he's changed his pant leg.
Really?
He's changed the way he's wearing his pants. He's got the socks, the big blue. How about that? Yesterday, on the left with the pants all the way down to the shoe tops. Today, he's got it right under his knees, showing off that big blue sock for the Blue Jays. And
okay. Mr. Smarty Pants, tell me what he wore on Friday night.
Long pants. He wore baseball pants.
He hit a home run. He must have had the short pants. Edwin enjoying another terrific month of May. Just takes him a while to get into the flow of the season, but the home run this afternoon is 8th he's hit this month. Last year he hit 16 in May.
That's a lot of home runs,
isn't it?
I was looking at the Mariners and I was wondering, well, what is the Mariners record for home runs in the month of May? 1997, that guy named Ken Griffey Jr. did it. He had some kind of May.
Wow, he is unbelievable, and he hit 24 home runs that year, and then his name is on the leaderboard for other months of May that he's put up big numbers. In 94 he had 22. In 99 he had 20. Alex Rodriguez had 20 and 98. How about Rodriguez and Griffey? They had 20 and 19 respectively in May of 98.
It's a pretty good 3-4 punch, isn't it?
Wow. Nelson Cruz with 17. He is 8th on that list for home runs in May for the Seattle Mariners.
24 home runs in a month. That's about half as many as I hit in 10 years.
And that's something. That's why he's going to the Hall of Fame. Encarnacion hits one to the right side, and Miller can't make the play. Now he's going to compound the situation. He throws it away. It's still rolling around, and Encarnacion never picked up on it, and Castillo backs up to play. So it'll be an infield hit for Encarnacion, his 2nd hit of the afternoon.
Got to be an infield hit. He takes advantage of the shift as he rolls the ball by Miller, playing second base. Rolls off of his glove. He still thinks he has a shot at it. For some reason, he throws it away.
Yeah, they're lucky it didn't go into the dugout. But it's an infield hit with 1 out. Chris Colabello, he's 1 for 2. Single to center in the 5th. Drives this ball deep to right over the head of Cruz and off the wall. Encarnacion is headed for 3rd. He'll stop there. Chris Colabello with his 2nd hit. Another extra base hit for Colabello. His 6th double off the base of the wall in right.
He can in. He's got some power the other way. You can see 6th double. He doesn't wait around. Takes his first pitch from Farquhar. Looked like a cutter, and he drives it over the head of Cruz, who gets a good rebound from there and just heaves it back into the infield to keep Encarnacion at third base, but this ball is driven to right field.
Well, this is a big moment in this game for the Blue Jays. They are 2-22 when they score 4 runs or less. They've scored 4 so far. You add that extra run, you get them to 5 runs. They're 17-4. So these are big runs for the Blue Jays.
Yeah, right man right here. Justin Smoke, the former Mariner, can inflict a little pain on his former teammate.
Missed badly upstairs. It's the ball on the strike. The infield is in. Encarnacion's in to score. Smoke with an RBI single. There's that 5th run.
Nothing like facing your former team and then doing something positive against it. Smoke, the former Mariner, first year in Toronto. 3-finger changeup from Danny Farquhar, and it hangs over the middle of the plate. So you can see he's out in front of it just a little bit, but he yanks it into right field for the RBI single.
For Smoke, that's RBI number 8 for the season and gives the Blue Jays that 5th run. They now lead at 5-2. Farquhar is out. Joe Beimel will come in. Carrera's the scheduled batter. They'll call him back. Center, and the J-Force is decked out in cowboy attire, and they're having a good time stirring up the founts. Good crowd on hand, 37,000 on hand here at Rogers Center. New pitcher is the lefty Joe Beimel, and Carrera will stay in the bat against the left-hander. Beimel making his 8th appearance.
It's going to be tough on the left-handers. Beimel just re-signed with Seattle. He's a free agent. They signed him in April, took him the month to get in shape. They just recalled him at the beginning of May. So that's why you see his appearances down and his innings down. But he's tough. Good fastball, good breaking ball. He hasn't given up a run on the road this year.
Ezequiel Carrera stays in the ball game. He's a good defender, and the Blue Jays have the lead 5-2. First pitch for a strike. Carrera is 0 for 3. Blue Jays lead at 5-2. Carrera is 2 for 7 against lefty pitching. He bunts it up the first baseline. Morrison doesn't have anywhere to go. Carrera picks up the RBI. A heads-up play by Carrera. Lefty on lefty. He takes the bunt with him.
I think that was the safety squeeze. Because the first baseman has to hold that runner on at first base, he can't come charging until that ball is let loose by the pitcher. Blue Jays played the safety squeeze where you put the ball down on the bunt, and then the runner at third base reads it, and once it's down, he's coming to the plate. He scores the run. Good bump by Carrera, and no play at first base.
They may have had a play at home. If Morrison continues with his momentum toward home, they might have had a shot at Colabello, but for Carrera, he picks up another RBI. He's got 10 RBIs now. Extra run for the Blue Jays. 2 runs this inning. They've expanded their lead to 4. Kevin Pillar. Interesting splits for Pillar coming into this game. 225 against righties, 225 against lefties. Blue Jays, another 10-hit affair. Good balance in their attack once again.
I like that they're having more than one inning, scoring in more than one inning.
Everybody in the lineup has a hit except the leadoff man, Donaldson.
Blue Jays gave up a run at the top of the inning. How about they come right back and get 2 more and looking for more?
Well, once again, John Gibbons gets a very good start from Aaron Sanchez. Last time through the rotation, the starters have been tough.
Yeah, doing their job, pitching deep into the game, giving them a chance.
Three and 1 to Pillar. Well, Gibbons made a decision about Osuna. He said, you know what, I want to bring him in right here with 2 outs in the 7th, and he brought Osuna in to retire Chris Taylor.
Yeah.
And that might be the only guy he faces now, especially with the Blue Jays adding a couple runs here.
Yeah. I don't think you're going to see Roberto right here. Another base hit, and he could take it on in.
3-1. Ball 4. That'll load the bases.
Luxury begins with the new 8-speed dual clutch 2016 Acura ILX. Catch it if you can.
Aaron Loup, the left-hander, appears to be getting ready to come in to start the top of the 8th. It's Miller, Seth Smith, and Cano, 3 left-handed batters to start the top of the 8th, so it more than likely will be Aaron Loup. Still just 1 out. Opportunity for a big day for Goins.
Yeah, he's had a good day. Now let's make it a great day right here. He was robbed of a hit his first time up on a nice play by Taijuan Walker. He homered and then walked in his last start, and he's played great shortstop this afternoon.
Curveball and a fastball. It's 0-2 for Beimel. Rick waits once again, making a call down to the bullpen. Oh, and 2, bases are loaded. Way outside. Mariners bullpen is up and throwing again. That's the right-hander Mark Lowe. Two and two. Blue Jays split 4 games with the Angels, 2-2. They lost the first 2 here to the Mariners. The Mariners had not swept a series here at Rogers Center since 2001. He was ahead 0-2, and now it's a full count. Justin Smoke with an RBI single to right. He's at third. Carrero with a bunt RBI single. And Pilar walks. Bases loaded for Ryan Goins.
Now just pick one out right here.
Tollefson is on deck. He'll bat for Kawasaki.
You have battled back to 3-2. Here's your great day right here.
Ball 4. A bases loaded walk. So Beimel comes in, gives up a bunt single, and then walks 2. Goins with an RBI. That's a 3 RBI day for Ryan Goins.
Those runs are charged to Danny Farquhar. His afternoon is over. Infield hit, double, single, and now the 2 walks. Those go to him. So now Beimel has loaded the bases all by himself. Blue Jays haven't hit the ball out of the infield since he's come in.
7-2 Blue Jays. Steve Tollefson batting for Kawasaki. Coming off the bench swinging.
I love it. I love it. The guy just walked 2 guys. He wants to get ahead, strike 1. So you're looking for that fastball first pitch. And if it's right there, see if you can clear the bases.
Tollefson 316 against lefty pitching with a couple of RBIs. Boy, a big hit right there would make his day. Inside. Tollefson's had a little regular playing time of late with the injury to Devin Travis, so his timing's pretty good.
Yeah, just watch him how he takes those pitches. Tracks it all the way into the catcher's glove. It's in a good hitting position. He's ready to tattoo one.
Pulled on the ground. Seager goes to second for 1. Back to first. In time. Bang, bang at first. Tollefson is called out. The double play ends the inning, but the Blue Jays add 3 more runs in the bottom of the 7th. They've taken a 7-2 lead. Jays have elected to challenge the call of the double play at first, and Tollefson hustling down the line. It is bang, bang, but it appears as though he beat the throw. If that's the case, it'll be an extra run and an RBI for Tollefson.
Yeah, this one right here should be definitive. When does he hit the bag? He's on the bag, and The ball is not in Logan Morrison's glove, and they call him safe. So an RBI for Steve Collison.
So the Mariners will stay on the field. Lloyd McClendon is out of the dugout. He is not going to contest the ruling. He's going to make a pitching change. So Joe Bible, a rough inning for him. He comes in and gives up an RBI bunt single, walks 2 batters, and then gives up a RBI fielder's choice. So he retires just 1 batter. New pitcher into the game for the Mariners. Blue Jays 8-2. Blue Jays win the challenge. Mark Lowe into the game for the 8th time.
That gives the Blue Jays another 4-run inning, making it 8-2. Mark Lowe has been around. One of those teams he's been with was the Indians. That's where it was in my mind right there. He's been around for a while. He started with this team. Last year he went to camp with Tampa Bay. He was released, signed by the Indians, and then signed again by Seattle as a minor league free agent back in December. There are his numbers in 7 games. When Lowe was younger, a good fastball, good curveball. Lefties have had their way against him this year, hitting .600.
The Blue Jays have scored 8 runs here this afternoon. It's the 15th time this season they've scored 7 or more runs in a game. That's 4 more than any other American League ball club. Texas, Oakland, Kansas City, and Minnesota have all done it 11 times. But it's the 15th time the Blue Jays have scored 7 or more runs in a game.
Boy, it's amazing. The offense, they crank it up.
Josh Donaldson is the 9th man to hit here in the 7th. He's the only starter that doesn't have a hit. 0 for 4.
And another 4-run inning for the Blue Jays offense. They've done that a few times this year.
Oh, and 2. Aaron Sanchez, the starter for the Blue Jays. He went 6 2/3. Way outside, it's 1-2 to Donaldson. Pillar's at third. Collison's at first. Lowe strikes out Donaldson. That's the final out of the inning, but another 4-run inning for the Jays. 9 men go to the plate. 8-2 Toronto.
TD. Meanwhile, over in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse, it's the London Boys and Girls Clubs enjoying a beautiful day at the ballpark here at Rogers Center. Buck?
Thank you very much, Barry. Always great to see those folks there in the Jays Care Community Clubhouse enjoying their time at the ballpark. And it has been a big day for the Blue Jays, and the pitchers have done well in the offense. Also, Aaron Loup will be the third Blue Jay pitcher to work this afternoon.
First time that the Seattle Mariners have seen Aaron Loup in this series. Last time he worked was on May the 20th. A very clean inning. 3 up, 3 down against Los Angeles Angels. 17 games now Aaron has worked in. Steve Tollefson remains in the game. He picks up Munenori Kawasaki at second base.
Willie Bloomquist will come off the bench and face Aaron Loup. Bloomquist started yesterday against Mark Burley, and he had a big 2-run double in the third. Loup throws strike one to Bloomquist. Bloomquist has hit Burley well throughout his career. That's why he got the start. He has 21 hits and 48 at-bats. That's a .438 average. That double was his 10th extra base hit against Burley. That's fought off and fouled. It's the most at-bats, hits, and extra base hits that Willie Bloomquist has had against any major league pitcher.
So you have to automatically start him, don't you? I wonder if Burley knows those numbers.
Oh, he knows all the numbers. Remember when we asked him about Delman Young?
Yeah, he knew all about that.
This little pop, that's going to drop into the seats and bounces back onto the field. Yeah, pitchers, they know all the numbers. I can tell you about them, but in their mind they don't. So Aaron Loup pitching in this 8-2 ball game. Roberto Osuna faced just one batter and got Chris Taylor to fly out to right. Osuna threw just 8 pitches.
That's okay. That's back-to-back days for Osuna. 2/3 yesterday.
Bloomquist comes off the bench and gets a base hit.
And then a third today, so his afternoon is over. Aaron Loup has struggled in his last few times out. He's given up 12 hits and 6 earned runs over his last 6 innings.
And he's going to face another pinch hitter. Justin Ruggiano comes on to pinch hit for Seth Smith, the left fielder. Ruggiano got the start yesterday as well against Burley. He finished up 0 for 3. The Mariners will finish up this game and go down to Tampa Bay to take on Rays, a 3-game series to wrap up their road trip. It's a 3-city, 9-game road trip so far. They're 3-2 on this trip. In Tampa Bay, it'll be Roenis, Elias, J. Happ, and Felix Hernandez, the starting pitchers for Seattle.
One of the pitchers that they get is Chris Archer, right?
Archer will go against Felix Hernandez in the finale.
How fun will that be?
Wednesday afternoon game down in Tropicana Field. Jake Odorizzi and Alex Colomé, the first 2 starters. Seattle trying to get back to 500. They're 20-22. Blue Jays are 7 games under at 19-26. Both of these teams had aspirations of contending in their respective divisions.
And both teams saying, you know, it's early. We have struggle coming out of the gate, but give us a chance. They need to go on a roll.
Ruggiano strikes out on the Loup changeup, and we'll take a look at the Blue Jays schedule. Blue Jays wrapping up this 3-game series, and then they will welcome in the Chicago White Sox. Robin Ventura and the White Sox will be in town, and then Blue Jays will travel on the off day on Thursday, going to Minnesota, see Paul Molitor and the high-flying Twins. Minnesota got out to a slow start, but they've turned things around dramatically. Minnesota is 24-18. 4 games back of the front-running Kansas City Royals. Twins are in 3rd place.
Yeah, a very improved team. first week or 2 weeks of Paul Molitor's managerial career didn't look too good, but they've turned it around because they started hitting.
Robinson Cano has had a disappointing stop here at Rogers Center. Cano is 0 for 3 today. He's grounded into 2 double plays and then a ground out to the second baseman. Cano is 0 for 10 for the series.
He can start hitting down in Tampa. He is just too good of a hitter to keep down for a long time.
0 for 11. Cano shut out in the series. Back-to-back strikeouts for Loop after the leadoff single.
That fastball surprising Robinson Cano. I don't know if he was looking for a breaking ball, but it's right at the knees. Good job by Russell Martin to hold it there for him. The home plate umpire, Cano thinks it's low, but it's strike 3.
Nelson Cruz, he's 0 for 3. Blue Jays have done a nice job of handling Cano and Cruz for the last 2 games. Between them, they have just 1 hit in 2 games. Cruz had a big night on Friday night with a double and a homer. Robinson Cano, a disappointing 3-game series for sure. High fly ball into center, plenty of room for Pilar. Cruz is retired. Luke gives up a leadoff single and nothing more. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th. The Blue Jays have an 8-2 lead. Now it's time for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Jamie Campbell and Greg Zong.
Scheduled for a 7 o'clock start has been changed to 12:37. If you have tickets for the game, please be aware of that time change. You guys, after what happened with Matt Joyce earlier this week, I'm hoping Robin Ventura makes sure every one of his players know that it is not a night game on Wednesday.
Well, that's true. Matt Joyce thought Monday afternoon's game was a night game, and he missed it. And because of that, the manager made a lineup decision and scratched his name from the lineup. So I'm sure Robin Ventura in Game 3 will let everybody know. Don't forget, 12:30 start on Wednesday. Yeah, Jeff Samardzija starts that game for the White Sox.
For Matt Joyce, that was the first game in here. They came in off the road. Came in there, just assumed on a Monday it was going to be a night game.
Little did he know it was Victoria Day.
Do you still have nightmares of that scenario?
It's the worst thing ever, isn't it? Missing a game? Missing a team bus, missing a game.
It's the, that nightmare where you're outside the stadium and you hear your name being announced that you're hitting and you're trying to get in and you can't.
Now batting, Pat Tabler.
It's a bad feeling. Oh. And it's funny, you ask players if they have that, they all say yes. They have those nightmares.
Russell Martin 1 for 4 today. Martin's done a terrific job with this pitching staff as he gains more and more knowledge of exactly what he's dealing with. We have seen he and Aaron Sanchez really put their heads together the last several starts.
Yeah, he was talking about certain pitchers. He's figuring out what they can and can't do. And he's also figuring out what they need to do but can't do just yet to get big league hitters out. And it's taken a couple of months. It's taken all of spring training, all of April, and a lot of May before he's starting to figure out what pitchers can and can't do.
Martin contesting that he may have fouled it, but he is out on strikes. Aaron Sanchez started the ball game. Another good start for the Blue Jays starting pitcher. 97 pitches over 6 2/3. He scattered 7 hits. Pitched out of a couple of jams early, got settled in, and did a nice job of utilizing all of his pitches this afternoon.
Had a run taken off the board in the first inning. On a replay. Blue Jays making good use of the replay this afternoon.
Replay got Steve Towson an RBI in the 7th. He was called out on an inning-ending double play. John Gibbons asked for the challenge, have them review the play. It was overturned on the field, so Towson got an RBI.
They also overturned the play in the first inning and saved a run for Aaron Sanchez.
That was the bang-bang call at first base. Goins made a strong throw. Cruz hustling down the line was initially ruled safe. Would have been an infield base hit and an RBI for Cruz, but it was taken off the board. Edwin Encarnacion hit his 12th home run of the season back in the 5th. That was the second 2-run home run of the inning. Ryan Goins drove in the first 2 Blue Jay runs to erase that early 1-0 deficit.
He also got last inning's rally started with an infield hit.
The Blue Jays, after an 11-12 April, have slipped to 8-14 coming into this game. Last May, they won 21 games in May. Moved into first place and stayed there until early July. Encarnacion, with that 12th home run, has moved into the 3rd spot in the American League. Nelson Cruz with 17, Mark Teixeira with 13, and now Encarnacion is 3rd with 12.
That ball hit Edwin off the back knee. You see that sometimes when pitchers have that fastball just coming inside and burrowing in there. It looked like Encarnacion might have hit it off his back knee.
High slider backhanded by Seager. 2 down. We'll be right back at it tomorrow night as the Chicago White Sox are in town. First of 3. Drew Hutchison will open up the series against Hector Noesi. Noesi is filling in for Carlos Rondon, who was the youngster in the rotation. They just skipped his start. Robin Ventura said, I just want to give Rondon a little breather. So Noesi will step up and make the start.
He'll push him back a couple of days, and he'll pitch in that doubleheader on Thursday.
That doubleheader will take place in Baltimore. Chris Colabello. Colabello's had another 2-hit game. He is 2 for 3. He doubled and scored in the 7th. It's a high breaking ball. 0-2. Liam Hendricks is standing by. Aaron Loop had a good inning. He allowed a single but struck out 2 and got out of it unscathed. Seager, Morrison, and Castillo are the scheduled hitters for the Mariners in the ninth. Bello spoils a pretty good pitch down and away.
We're watching Mark Lowe work here. He looks pretty good to me.
Yeah.
I don't know about you. Tampa Bay released him last year, signed with Cleveland. They let him go. Comes back to the team where he pitched with at the beginning of his career in Seattle. It looks pretty good to me. Fastball's been in the mid 90s. With a good breaking ball.
Tried to swing that fastball back over the outside corner and missed. It's 1-2 to Colabello. Bottom of the 8th inning, Blue Jays have scored 4 runs twice in an inning this afternoon. Two and two. Blue Jays are going to get one of their injured players back tomorrow night. Jose Reyes is in the house. He has been rehabbing down in AAA with the Buffalo Bisons, and he should be back at shortstop tomorrow.
And from what we hear, swinging pain-free. That will go a long way, I think, to help this offense.
Reyes went 2 for 4 in a game yesterday and drove in a pair of runs. He will get back into his normal leadoff spot. Josh Donaldson has been filling in recently in the leadoff spot. They could get Devin Travis back on the 1st of June. Hopefully Jose Bautista will be healthy again and back in the lineup shortly. Bello worked back to a full count and strikes out. Lowe with a couple of strikeouts. An inning and a third, 3 strikeouts for Mark Lowe. Will go to the 9th. Liam Hendricks on to face Seager, Morrison, and Castillo.
Martin Geyer. Meantime, 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. It is the 2015 MasterCard Memorial Cup as the Quebec Remparts take on the Oshawa Generals. And tonight, 8 o'clock, this should be a good one, guys. Game 5 on CBC between the Lightning and Rangers. Series is tied at 2 games apiece. Buck?
Barry, both of the semifinal Stanley Cup playoff matches have been terrific. And how about Anaheim and Chicago last night? Back and forth all night long. And the Blackhawks came out victorious. Liam Hendricks in to wrap this game up, his 16th appearance.
Good numbers all the way around for Liam Hendricks in his 15 games this year. He doesn't have a record, a good earned run average at .326. Fastball so much better this season. Said he found it down in winter ball this year in Dominican. Said it was okay. Started at 88 miles an hour and then said, all right, I got to just start letting this fastball go. And now he's been in the mid-90s with it.
working exclusively out of the bullpen. He knows he's in there for short stints and can air it out. Kyle Seager, another good day today, 2 for 3 with a home run. He scored both of the Mariner runs. 8-2 Blue Jays. Look out. Whoa. Well, that bat sails right into the second row over the Mariners dugout.
He might want to keep that bat. That bat has been good to him here in this series.
Yeah, he's looking in there very seriously, first and foremost, to make sure everybody's okay. But he'll doctor up his new bat.
Yeah, he keeps looking in there like, hey, pass that thing back here. I've been hot with that bat. This one, let's go. And it bounces off the top of the dugout. Yeah, it looks like it hit one of the fans. But they will be okay. We'll get some more souvenirs from Kyle Seager.
Seager had a home run yesterday, home run today. One and two to Seager, leading off the top of the ninth. Blue Jays coming into this game have lost 11 of their last 14. Seager strikes out on that good fastball, 1 down. Now for a preview of what's coming up next on Sportsnet Central. Here's Martine Geyer. Thank you very much, Martine. Stay tuned for all of those stories to be upgraded after the game. The Indy 500 is in the books. That's the true sign that summer is closing in. Once you get to the Indy 500, it makes it okay. Now summer's here.
Memorial Day, the unofficial start to the summer season. I don't know about you, but I've been looking forward to it.
It's been a little cool, hasn't it?
It has. Players look forward to it also. Playing in the warmth. Not have to deal with the cold weather.
Everybody okay? Kyle Seager, who threw that bat into the seats, wanted to check, make sure all the fans were okay. That's a nice move. One and two. Cut on and missed. Morrison strikes out. Also, Martin held on to the foul chip.
Boy, Liam's stuff has just been so good since they moved him into the bullpen. He is mostly fastball slider. You see that ball just tipped by Morrison, held on by Russell Martin. Looked like some kind of off-speed pitch.
Catcher Wellington Castillo had a sac fly in the 7th inning. Nasty slider, he went around.
He got him. Fastball slider, that one's 88 miles an hour.
$37,929 on Country Day here at Rogers Center. The Blue Jays will improve to 3-4 on this homestand, with the White Sox coming in to wrap up the final 3 games of this series. Chicago losing to the Twins this afternoon. The White Sox retired Paul Konerko's number yesterday in a very emotional ceremony, and they had a sellout crowd to retire Paul Konerko's number.
And the Blue Jays miss a couple of pitchers who've been tough on them in the past, Chris Sale and Quintana.
1-2. Ball game. Castillo takes strike 3. Liam Hendricks punctuates a good day by striking out the side in the ninth.
And it all started on the mound with Aaron Sanchez. He pitches 6 2/3 innings, gives up just the 2 runs to the Seattle Mariners. Blue Jays, it only took them 2 innings, but they scored 8 runs, 4 in each of those innings. A couple of big home runs. Ryan Goins had one, Edwin Encarnacion had one, and the Blue Jays trying to get some momentum heading into that Chicago series.
The 16th time this season the Blue Jays have had 10 or more hits in a ball game, and they turn it into 8 runs and salvage the final game of this 3-game set. Tomorrow night the White Sox will be here. Appreciate you watching. Stay tuned. Here's Sportsnet Central. Martine Geyer. Have a great afternoon.